Why liberal Americans are losing interest in electric vehicles due to Elon Musk's political shift. It's no secret that public opinion can shift dramatically when a prominent figure becomes entangled in controversy. But here's where it gets fascinating. Elon Musk, once hailed as the poster child for innovation and sustainability, may now be unintentionally sabotaging the very movement he helped create. A recent study suggests that liberal Americans are turning away from electric vehicles, EVs, altogether, not just Teslas, because of their growing disdain for Musk's political leanings and behavior. The research team at Williams College uncovered some eye-opening insights through 5 surveys conducted between August 2023 and March 2025. During this period, Musk made headlines by taking over Twitter, endorsing Donald Trump, and clashing with lawmakers in Washington. These actions seem to have alienated many on the left, whose enthusiasm for EVs has plummeted as a result. Surprisingly, it's not just Teslas they're avoiding. Liberals appear to be rejecting all brands of electric cars due to their negative perception of Musk. In essence, the man who brought battery-powered vehicles into the mainstream is now driving people away from them. Published in Humanities and Social Sciences Communications, the report dives deep into how various factors influence consumer decisions. Researchers examined respondents' political affiliations, income levels, personal feelings about Musk, and willingness to adopt eco-friendly practices. One striking finding: buying an EV stands out as one of the most politically polarizing choices someone can make today. Conservatives, for instance, were more inclined to embrace other environmentally friendly actions, like installing solar panels, switching to heat pumps, or reducing red meat consumption than purchasing an EV. Yes, you read that right. Even giving up steak ranked higher than ditching gas-powered cars. While conservatives' attitudes toward EVs remained relatively stable throughout the survey period, the same cannot be said for liberals. For moderates and conservatives, interest in buying a Tesla dipped slightly, but stayed largely tied to their personal admiration, or lack thereof, for Musk. However, among liberals, the story was starkly different. Their desire to purchase any EV from any manufacturer took a nosedive. This decline wasn't subtle either. It accelerated sharply over the course of just a year. Liberals who still admire Musk show roughly the same level of interest in EVs as before, but those who dislike him are far less likely to consider buying one today compared to last year. What makes this trend even more perplexing is that cost doesn't seem to play a significant role. The researchers controlled for income and found that while wealthier individuals tend to be more open to EVs, financial considerations alone don't explain the widening partisan gap. Nor do they clarify why opinions about Musk correlate so strongly with EV preferences. It appears Musk has managed to intertwine his personal brand so closely with EVs that disliking him translates directly into disliking the entire category of vehicle. And this is the part most people miss. Musk's impact extends beyond Tesla itself. While Tesla remains financially robust, at least on paper, the broader EV market faces challenges. If liberal consumers continue to sour on EVs, global sales could stagnate, leaving the US further behind countries leading the charge in clean energy adoption. Imagine a future where America loses its edge in sustainable transportation, all because of one man's controversial reputation. But here's the kicker. Is this really fair? Should the fate of an entire industry hinge on the actions of a single CEO? Some might argue that separating the product from the person is essential for progress. Others may counter that leaders shape industries, and if Musk alienates key demographics, he bears responsibility for the fallout. What do you think? Does Musk deserve the blame, or should we focus solely on the technology itself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Elon Musk's impact on electric vehicle sales, a political divide. Here's a shocking truth. Elon Musk, once a darling of innovation, has inadvertently become a polarizing figure, and his political leanings are now driving liberals away from electric vehicles, not just Teslas. But here's where it gets controversial. Is Musk's personal brand so intertwined with EVs that his actions are single-handedly reshaping an entire industry? Let's dive in. In a recent study published in Nature, researchers uncovered a startling trend. Since Musk's alignment with former President Donald Trump, liberal Americans' enthusiasm for electric vehicles has plummeted. This isn't just about Teslas, it's about EVs as a whole. Alexandra Flores, the study's lead author and a psychologist at Williams College, explains, Elon Musk became so synonymous with EVs in the US that perceptions of him affected the entire class of vehicles. This made them way less appealing to liberals. He really dragged down perceptions of EVs in general. And this is the part most people miss. It's rare for a CEO's personal actions to influence an entire product category so profoundly. The shift is so dramatic that some liberal Tesla owners have even started adorning their cars with anti-Musk stickers, featuring slogans like Anti-Elon Tesla Club or I bought this before Elon went crazy. But here's the twist. While liberals are turning away, conservatives aren't exactly rushing to embrace EVs either. Despite polling showing Republicans now view Tesla more favorably, their actual purchasing intentions remain unchanged. As Flores notes, the strong link to liberalism is too much for them to be budged on. It's more foundational to them than whether they like or don't like Elon Musk. Bold claim alert. Could Musk's political stance be slowing down the fight against climate change? Transportation is the largest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions in the US, and any slowdown in EV adoption could hinder progress. Yet Erin Keating, an executive analyst at Cox Automotive, offers a counterpoint. EVs aren't going away. Adoption may stagnate, but it won't go off a cliff. We've invested too much into it, and there are too many good products on the market now. So, what do you think? Is Musk's influence on EVs a temporary blip or a lasting shift? And more importantly, can the electric vehicle movement outgrow its association with a single figure? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. This debate is far from over. California's EV sales surge, a response to critics. Imagine a world where electric vehicles, EVs, are not just a niche product, but a mainstream phenomenon. A world where the air is clean, the roads are quiet, and the future is sustainable. Sounds like a utopia, right? But here's the thing. We're already living in that world, at least in California. The Golden State has just blown a big fat raspberry at the haters, with zero-emission vehicles accounting for a whopping 21.6% of all new vehicle sales in Q2 this year. That's a healthy chunk of the market, and it's a clear indication that Californians are embracing the electric revolution with open arms. But what's behind this impressive statistic? And what does it mean for the future of transportation? Let's dive in and find out. The California Energy Commission is thrilled with the news, and they're not afraid to rub it in the face of US President Trump, Republicans in Congress, and anyone else who still thinks EV sales are doomed to fail. Why not? The numbers are clear. Over 100,000 zero-emission vehicles were newly registered in California in Q2 of 2025, despite the White House's best efforts to undermine the industry. But here's where it gets interesting. A new study has found that Tesla's brand reputation troubles are starting to rub off on the entire EV market. The study, published in the journal Humanities and Social Sciences Communications, found that liberals are less likely to buy Teslas than other electric vehicles, and that this effect is moderated by perceptions of Elon Musk. Now, you might be thinking, so what? There are plenty of other EV options out there. And you're right, there are. But the study also found that the decline in Tesla sales is starting to have a knock-on effect on overall EV sales. Ouch. The researchers found that liberals showed declining intentions to purchase Teslas compared with other EVs, and that this effect was also present, albeit to a lesser extent, in the overall EV market. This is concerning because it suggests that Tesla's brand reputation crisis could be dragging down the entire industry. But there's another factor at play here, one that's often overlooked in discussions of EV sales: the gender gap. Yes, you read that right. The EV sales gender gap is a real thing, and it's a significant one. According to a study by the research firm Escalent, EV ownership, shopping, and awareness are largely male-dominated, with men making up 71% of owners and 74% of shoppers. This is consistent with statistics on Tesla ownership, which show that 74% of Tesla owners are male. So what's going on here? Why are women less likely to buy EVs, and what can be done to change this? The answer, it seems, is complex. On the one hand, women are more likely to be influenced by social and environmental factors when making purchasing decisions. On the other hand, the automotive industry has traditionally been male-dominated, and this can make it difficult for women to feel comfortable and included in the buying process. But there's hope on the horizon. The California Energy Commission is committed to making EVs more accessible and appealing to women, and they're investing heavily in EV charging infrastructure to make it happen. In fact, the CEC has just awarded a $3.8 million grant to the startup SWTH Energy, which will provide on-site EV charging to 34 multifamily properties in California. This is a big deal because it will help to uncork an untapped reservoir of EV sales among residents of multifamily buildings who otherwise lack access to home EV charging. So what does the future hold for EV sales in California? The answer, it seems, is bright. With over 150 ZEV models available for sale in the state and a growing network of EV charging infrastructure, it's likely that EV sales will continue to thrive. And this is the part most people miss. The EV revolution is not just about the cars themselves, but about the entire ecosystem that supports them. From charging infrastructure to education and outreach, there are many factors at play here. But one thing is clear: California is leading the charge, and the rest of the world is taking notice. So what do you think? Are EVs the future of transportation, or are they just a niche product for environmentally conscious enthusiasts? Let us know in the comments, and if you're interested in learning more about the EV revolution, be sure to sign up for our daily newsletter or weekly Substack for in-depth analyses and high-level summaries.